Okay. Yeah. Hi. My name is Rian Gayle. I'm going to share a little about my story, my experience comparing myself to other people. So I grew up as a deaf individual in a very hearing world. So it was hard for me to find somebody who was the same as me, had the same experience, or had a similar understanding to me. Everyone was different than me. So unfortunately, I had different experience in my family and my community. I continually compared myself to others who were hearing, and me as a deaf individual, I was always disappointed. Our lives were so different. Everyone was relying on audio. I was relying on visual. So for a long time, that was a big struggle for me. Access was not the same. I would get information later than others. People were living their life, and I was feeling like I was falling so far behind. I was always comparing myself. I always wanted to be like the hearing people, and that was a vicious cycle that just continued, and it was not a healthy approach.
These days with social media and constant updates on everyone's lives, it's easy to feel like we're not measuring up and fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. You could literally have 7 things going well for you in a given day, such as like you killed it on a test, you got a new job, you go on a date, you squeeze in a workout, maybe a workout that felt really good afterwards. And that night, you decide to scroll before bed and come across a post that someone achieved something, looks a certain way, or has something you have always wanted, and now you feel mad, bitter, sad, jealous, all because of that one damn post. This is how scrolling can create a false reality, making us feel as if we're falling short even when we do all of those good things earlier that same day.
Yeah, you're right. Like you can see, when we try to measure ourselves against other people and compare ourselves to others on social media, making that comparison, we feel inadequate and dejected. Sometimes their achievements aren't the same as my achievements, and that makes you feel a different way. And not just on social media, but in general life as well. Maybe you see something and you're comparing yourself with others. Like, for example, looking at your neighbor's home, and you see that they have a brand new pool in their backyard, and you don't have that, and it makes you feel bad about yourself. It's a similar concept there. And when we do that, we continually beat ourselves up and are never satisfied. It's, again, just a horrible cycle, and we feel unsatisfied. We feel like we're falling behind others. We become stuck and worry about who's ahead and who's behind. And if someone else is behind, sometimes that makes us feel good about ourselves. And then that causes people to slow down, to hold back, to get stuck and not be able to move forward.
Absolutely. Here's the deal, though. No one else has the exact same upbringing as you or has faced the same challenges or opportunities. From the moment we are born, we're given circumstances, different struggles, environments, and opportunities in front of us. And since each person has a different set of challenges, aspirations, and timelines, there's no need to measure our progress based on someone else. Just because one person might be achieving something at a certain age or at a certain time doesn't mean that we should be doing that too.
Yeah, right. I agree. Also, we have to understand that some people are going to achieve things later in life. There's not a specific timeline or like a specific age for people to follow. Like, not if you're 18 and you graduate high school and someone else is 19, they haven't graduated yet, then they flip out. There's no specific timeline that needs to be followed. No specific days or due dates. Some people are going to achieve things later in life. Others will be earlier. Some people are going to be a little bit slower. Everyone's running their own race. Some people are faster, and that's fine. We just want to make sure that we keep moving forward. Make sure that we set up goals for ourselves, figure out what we want to do, make sure we're challenging ourselves and focusing on ourselves, not looking at others and making that comparison on time frames.
No, absolutely. That's so true, Ryan. I think it makes me reflect on a kind of a story I'd like to share about myself, which is a couple stories that kind of lead to one journey in my experience. One is I grew up in a military family. I lived on military bases until I was 13. And because I moved so many times when I was really young in a very short period of time, there was always kind of this ongoing joke around it's time to move. There's dust on the refrigerator. That when I was in school, I struggled. I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to read until I was in second grade and actually repeated second grade. On top of that, I have ADD and I've had it my whole life. I know that I've had it my whole life, but I wasn't diagnosed until an adult. And so the comparison game really took me over. At times I would say I didn't feel smart enough. I didn't even kind of share much with like my friends that I had repeated the second grade. Even as an adult, I was unsure about sharing that experience with people. My ADD, nowadays people will joke like, oh yeah, everyone's got a little ADD. I'm like, no, legit, y'all, I got ADD. Like, that's really funny, but there's 12 things going on at one time and I'm not sure which squirrel I'm supposed to be following. So I feel like through high school, it was always a little harder for me than it was my friends. College was a little harder for me than it was for my friends. I kind of joked about like, I think I got my high school diploma and my college degree on charm because of the fact that it was just a little bit harder. There's days that it's still hard. There's still days as in my role and what I do is a challenge. I'll start my day going, I have 10 things today. I'm going to get them done. And then the end of the day comes and I don't get those 10 things done. And so I have to learn different strategies and sometimes recreate different strategies. But the comparison never serves me well.
Wow, yeah, that's really tough. And at the end of the day, we really need to set aside all those distractions. We need to focus on ourselves. And yeah, life is not decided by who's ahead and who's behind, or comparing ourselves to other people. We have to focus on ourselves, what makes us happy. Some of the things that we could do are less scrolling on social media, less looking at other people's stories. Actually get out into the world, live your life, socialize. Set up goals for yourself, figure out what you want to achieve, work on that. The more that we're focusing on ourselves, the more enjoyment out of life we'll have. And that's also related to academics. Make sure you're focusing on your studies, focusing on what you want to achieve in school, as opposed to comparing yourself to what's happening on social media. A lot of stuff on social media isn't going to help you with any academic success.
Absolutely. It's so true. So I encourage everyone, like the next time you catch yourself comparing, I want you to pause, shift your energy from somebody else's journey and what they're going through to your own. Remind yourself of the progress you've made, the strength you've discovered, the moments you've overcome, and the trust that focusing on yourself is the key to surpassing your limits, achieving those goals, and experiencing the life you want. Focus on yourself and what you can be doing in your life to better your position and be better than your past self. And remember, the universe doesn't reward you for comparing. It rewards you for effort. So keep moving forward. Find those glimmers in life. Life is meant to be experienced, not watched, and not compared. You don't need a highlight reel to prove you're doing amazing things.
Right. And also one last comment. Sometimes what people are posting on social media, those things you're seeing aren't actually the full story. People are posting exaggerated stuff. So what you're seeing and you think, oh, wow, it's so cool, but it's not actually real life. It's not true. Sometimes the things that you're seeing is fake information, and that fake information influences how you feel about yourself. So be careful with that too.